Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my participation video for a challenge that YouTuber Beki Foster is doing. She has challenged herself to make approximately like 2 beaded chain necklaces every week throughout the month of September. Last week I did put up my video with 2 projects. However, this week that's ending now, because this goes up on Saturday. Well, I'm putting my videos up on 4 Saturdays in a row. This Saturday ends a week that has been very busy for me. I've been off work on vacation, and I've just had a million other things to do around the house that I haven't been able to do while I'm usually working. So I didn't get to create as much jewelry as I was hoping, but I did get a project made, and also made a pair of matching earrings. So I will link Beki's channel in the description below, specifically the video where she kind of talks about this challenge that she has created for herself. And I know she's been sharing videos every week as she goes along. I just decided to do one video a week, like on Saturdays. So this is my video for that. And I used beads out of the September bargain bead box. I used a lot of these. Let me see if I can find the baggies here. I used these Jasper matte round beads. I used some smaller beads. I've got different project bags here with things I'm wanting to use, projects I'm wanting to put together. I used some of the 6mm fancy Jasper round beads that are the smaller ones, and I used the donut beads. There were 2 of the 18mm fancy Jasper Go-Go donuts, and then the larger 30mm fancy Jasper donut pendant. Now, I had made a comment on one of Beki's previous videos about how I am not very good at doing bead work, like working with seed beads and stuff. And I know that a lot of people will tend to make beaded seed bead bales for these larger, at least that's what I've seen a lot when I was researching like Googling online and looking up videos on YouTube. A lot of them made like fancy beaded bales for their larger like donut pendants and things. And then she said, well, you could try wire wrapping, because I had mentioned that I'm not very good at seed bead work, but I think it's mostly because I just haven't really sat down to try to do anything with seed beads, other than use them as little stoppers at the end of head pins. That's about the extent of my using seed beads. So I went ahead and looked up a video, and I will link this one below as well, because she does a really thorough tutorial up close. You can see everything just perfectly. In fact, I kind of watched it side by side, like right beside me as I was doing this. And it was really easy to do. Now, she used 20mm or 20 gauge wire. I did not have 20 gauge in silver. I only had 18 and 22. And at first I was thinking, okay, I had to whack a fly. At first I was thinking it was going to be too like bendy, too flexible. The 22 gauge was, but it actually ended up working pretty well. I knew the 18 would be way too stiff. I could not do this project with 18. So let me go ahead and show the earrings first, because they're tiny and cute. I just love how these turned out. Now, the video that I watched, she only did it's a much larger donut. I believe it's a larger donut pendant that she used. It may be the same size, just up close may have looked a lot bigger because she was zoomed in. But here are the earrings, and I absolutely love how these turned out. You just make like a little loop at the end of your wire. Just kind of do 2 little loops around your round nose pliers just to make like a little bail. And then you hold that at the top of the donut and you feed your wire through and make like wraps around it. You do like 4 wraps, like she explains how you do it, but just kind of do these 2 on this side, these 2 over here, and then the last wrap you bring your wire straight up through the center and you just do your little wrap around that bail at the top of the pendant, and it holds it on there really nice and sturdy. And this actually feels more secure and like more sturdy and strong than I was originally thinking. So it's actually, it worked out really well. And I think by having a little bit thinner, like the 22 gauge, it made it really easy to work, because you have to, like I said, you have to feed it through the hole. And it kind of had a tendency to want to kink up, so I had to use my little nylon coated pliers to straighten the wire out when it gets little kinks in it. And I really love how that turned out. I absolutely love these little pendants. This is the first time I've ever worked with these donut beads, because I never knew what to do with them before, other than maybe wrap a piece of like suede or leather cording around it, make like a little just simple little necklace like that, feeding some kind of stringing material through the middle and tying it around there. And then I just took some head pins and made these little simple little beaded sections here. I did pull out from beside me just some little rondelle spacers, and I just dropping my thingy. So there are the earrings. Love, love, love these. I think it's a gorgeous color of green. And then the necklace is basically the same thing, only in bigger form. Again, just make your little, I made it much bigger this time. The little, start out with the double loop at the top for the bail, and then just do your wrapping. This was a little bit easier because it was bigger. And the hole was just a tiny bit bigger to feed the wire through. But then I just did a big old giant messy wrap around the top this time. I didn't have quite as much wire left on the on the earrings. I didn't cut quite as much wire. This one I made sure to cut plenty, and so I was able to do a big fat messy wrap at the top. And then I just made, let me see here, how many links did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side. Just made these little links with the smaller jasper rounds on the end, and then the little bit larger matte jasper beads in the middle, and just added my little tiny silver spacer balls at the end, and of course those rondelle spacers in the middle, and then just attached everything together with jump rings, make it nice and flowy. And then, so I just did 5. I started to do, I had enough of these beaded spacers to, or the rondelle spacers to do 2 more links. I was going to do like 6 on each side, because when I had just the 5, it really wasn't long enough for me to add. Even if I added a clasp, it was going to be like super tight on me. So I just took some of my chain that I got at Hobby Lobby a while back. It actually has 2 different kinds on here. It's just multi-style chain spool. It's got the silver and the gold, and there's 3 yards of each one. And I got this one because specifically because it looks a lot like the paperclip style chain, but it's just little teeny tiny links instead of the longer links that normally come on like the paperclip chain. And I love the style of that chain. So I thought that would be a cute addition to the necklace. And this is what it looks like at the end. And I had made it a little bit longer than because I would always just estimate, kind of like hold the necklace to my body and then just kind of guess how much chain it's going to take to wrap around my neck. Well, it usually ends up being too long. So that's how I always end up with little pieces of chain that I remove. I just took off 4 links on each side, and it was perfect by the time I added the little clasp. I just added a lobster clasp and I just link it, like clasp it right through the last link. That works perfectly. And that is my beaded chain necklace for this week. I was kind of bummed that I didn't get a second project made, since the challenge was kind of to do 2 beaded projects a week, but I'm just kind of playing along, so I guess I can kind of do my own thing. Maybe next week, if I'm lucky, maybe I'll have 3 projects. Doubt it, but I might surprise myself. But anyways, there is one project, and I was very excited that I did get to play with the new box, the new bargain bead box. Normally I stick it on my shelf after I open it and look at it, and I'll come back to it like several months later. It seems like I'm never working with the current bead box. But this time I actually have used the new box, and I tried a new technique. So that was very exciting for this week. But anyways, I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by. And I hope you all have had a great week so far. And I will see you all in my next video. Take care.